How you doing? This is Chris with Chris's Comments. Site discussion about common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. And today it's about the little guy's opinion over here on the south in San Antonio, Texas. As a rideshare driver, I'm hearing both sides of the story. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've been hearing both sides of the story about this. People that are saying, that it's not the China virus and that Asians shouldn't be hated for it. And at the flip side to that is that I'm hearing, well, it came from China, so let's call it the China virus, just like the Spanish flu came from Spain. Okay, I want to clarify to those who aren't really studying, who aren't really reading into this, and at the same time to the others who don't want to believe that a location, that something like this could come from a location that has never given them any problems. Okay. First off, the Spanish flu. It was technically something out of Morocco. It was transported from Spain because that's the at the time that's where the shipping deal was. That's where the trade route was concerning. So it wasn't technically Spanish. Now, as far as China flu, well, yeah, it was detected out of Wuhan. But the Chinese didn't transport it to America no differently than the Spanish did back in the 1900s. The truth of the matter is that it was transported through a very corrupt organization called the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, scientists from Wuhan discovered, they reported it, and the Chinese government, Chinese Communist Party, silenced them. There was video footage of the actual doctor that one of the doctors that had tried to come out in the open with it, being restricted to it because it was a brand new virus, and actually recorded to where his flesh was rotting to the point to where he died. So this has nothing to do with another thing that backs up that has nothing to do with Chinese citizens or China itself is the fact that it was transported here through the fishing industry, the frozen fish industry, and it was reported to the Chinese government that there was some bad fish, there was bad food being shipped overseas. But again, though they were silenced, the CCP silenced the business people, the corporation, the fishing corporations, and they shipped them. They're forced to ship them off anyway. All these reports are coming out showing full proof, total evidence. What more do you need? These people are coming out, doctors, scientists, workers, shipment people, average citizens that are catching word. They're spreading out all this news for us to know that it's not them that's doing it. It's this corrupt organization called the Chinese Communist Party. What I'm coming out here with right now is after the shooting that took place in Georgia and here in San Antonio. Now, San Antonio didn't have any shootings yet. I think I could safely say that. Instead, what it was a noodle restaurant of a guy from California who had, China flu. I hope you die. Go back to China. Kung flu. All this graffiti stating all those phrases all across the restaurant owners' windows. It's downright stupid to do something like that, especially given the fact that, again, the owner is from Cali, you know, and I don't think he's even Chinese. I think he's Korean. Which, speaking of Koreans, the Korean that got shot, there were Koreans that got shot in Georgia by that gunman. Now everybody's saying it's not a hate crime, it's a sex addict thing, it's a sex thing. Well, if that was true, then he should have reported the sex thing that was going on. If it was a sex trade, he should have reported that. He should have ratted them out. How many news people would have flocked over there to expose some kind of traffic ring, you know, that alone. And then the cops, the federal agents, there's an FBI agency in the state of Georgia, just like there is here in Texas. You know, there's an FBI agency, there's an immigration. Rat them out. There was no need for any of that. So this whole bizwax where we're trying to determine as to whether or not it was a hate crime, it's very obvious that it is a hate crime. There were a couple of non-Asians that got shot too. Yeah? Where? The anti-Asian hate has to be quelled. It has to be. It has to be looked at. It has to be taken into account. And everybody that hates has to realize that you're hating the wrong people. You got the target on the wrong backs. You're pointing your gun at the wrong heads. People who are what part of masseussing has anything to do with spreading COVID? Did you get it while having sex over there? Isn't that illegal to begin with? What are you doing over there getting sex from a masseuse area? A masseuse parlor. It's not China that's doing this. It's those that are in control. Okay? It's the corruption. It's the deregulation, which brings me here to America. You know, there was a company that had some kind of juice, and I can't remember what the name of the company was. But there was 2 employees recording themselves urinating, and I think it was Gatorade, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to look it up. It was 2 employees urinating in a Gatorade stirrer, just laughing away. Now, without the regulations of security and people and things that make the employees behave themselves, and as well as the corporations, we wouldn't have known that. In fact, that one released video was the only way that anybody even knew how that happened. Planters. See, here's where regulation comes in. And working with the government to make sure that those regulations are upheld. Planters Peanuts was jarring and canning, packaging their brand, their peanuts, with rat fecal matter in it, with rat poop. That was a problem. That was solved. It was found out by an agent of the Food and Beverage Administration. I don't really know who it was, FDA. But they were apprehended, they were caught. And when you get something like that, where you got people reporting and other people discovering this bad activity going on, you know, stuff gets done. Justice gets done. And what's going on reverted right back to 2021, you know, justice is not being done with this hate crime towards Asian Americans or Asian immigrants, for that matter, who have absolutely nothing to do with the coronavirus. Because remember, the Chinese citizens themselves reported it. The Chinese citizens themselves reported the bad fish, and that's a corporation. Corporations usually try to send stuff out even if they know that it's contaminated. And this company actually tried to do the right thing. So for everybody out here in the States to look at an Asian and say that's a guilty person, well, you're wrong. You're wrong on all levels. In point of fact, I mean, unless you actually have physical evidence, well, no, even still, you're wrong. Because if you have physical evidence, you should turn it in. You should turn it into law enforcement. You should report them. No differently than the Chinese citizens that reported this to their government, that reported this to American and UK journalists who reported this over the internet. There are people that were chancing somebody to hear them because they are being silenced by their own Communist Party. The own Chinese Communist Party was restricting them from making their voices be heard. And that goes all the way out here into the States. So all you haters out there, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're ruining the communication. You're breaking communication with these attacks. This could have been handled a whole lot easier. Yeah, I know. So for everybody out there who says, well, this is all Trump's doing because of what he said about China, this being the flu from China, guess what? Those people have a point. Because of that kind of hate rhetoric spread on down to the citizens of the U.S. and anybody in the U.S. adopting that, soaking it in as actual knowledge, actual facts, and then to use that BS to be claiming that it's perfectly permissible to express your anger, if not just downright hate, onto a Chinese citizen, onto a Chinese person that's doing the right thing. And if he or she doesn't know anything about it, is actually staying oblivious from it by not participating. You know, those of you who are using this as an excuse to hate are in the wrong. You're actually preventing justice, those that are of hate. And I know, we all know, those of us that are down here on the shallow end of the pool, those of us that are not so high class, those of us that still have to work every day, paycheck to paycheck, you know, we can see this. This is what we're telling you out there. Stop the hate. Stop it. And better yet, stop hating the people that have nothing to do with what's going on. It's amazing how so many people of hate call themselves patriots and justice seekers and proud of this nation and everything. But yet the only thing they do is victimize. They have no say-so in any of this stuff. So guys like you and me who are down here, we're blowing off people that try to preach this kind of hate. We're laughing them off. We're showing them off. Now in my car, I have no choice but to debate with them. I don't want to hear none of their crap. So And anytime that I do keep my mouth shut, it eventually has to open up in defense or in objection to what the passenger is saying. The biggest one right now is it's coming out of China, so why not call it the Chinese flu or China flu? Again, because it's not China that's sending it to us. It's the corrupt that's in control that's sending it to us. The Chinese that are China, they are the ones reporting this stuff. They're the ones reporting what the Chinese Communist Party told them to do, ordered them to do, or else in some cases. They're the ones that are ratting out their own communistic party, their own political party. They're ratting them out. And you who are with hate, who want to use this slogan, this question, as an incentive to hate. You know, you're mucking things up. You're screwing up anything and every chance for justice with this hate. Stop with the hate. Stop looking at these Asian Americans or Asian people who are here in America, who you can obviously see are not going to be, you know, infecting everybody. They're wearing the masks accordingly. They're keeping distance accordingly. They're not the ones being recorded on YouTube coughing in employees' faces. You're saying it's a China thing. And yet most of the people that are doing this coughing and testing the law, they're not from China. Hell, most of them aren't even Asian. You know it's true. You know what I'm saying is true. Stop the hate. Stop the hate. It's not getting us anywhere. It's not getting you anywhere either. The only thing it's getting is a manhunt for you. And for some oddball reason, you're thinking that it's about freedom of speech. You're thinking it's about patriotism and thinking it's about your right not to put up with shit. Hey, you don't want to put up with shit. Go join the military. Go defend our borders. Go defend any European borders where China has ownership and is putting their military in. And what I mean by that is they have ports all over, not just the US, but all over the Americas. They have ports all over Europe. They have ports in several parts of Asia, as well as Australia and the UK. They have them everywhere. And at every one of those ports, because they fear hate, or the people that do hate, they actually have military at those ports. Either right next door, if not on the exact shipping grounds. This is true. You don't have to take my word for it. I look and I listen and I read and I watch the testimonies. What are you doing? Why are you not doing that? You need to know what's going on. You want to defend the country? You want to fight for the country? You want to fight for freedom and all this other crap? Okay, go join the military and get yourself at any one of those borders. And just simply wait. Ask for a transfer to India. They're always picking a fight with them there. Ask for a trip to Taiwan. They're about ready to go to war soon too. They already hit Hong Kong. What makes you think they're going to stop there? So get yourself over there. Don't be attacking any of these defenseless people. How is a little old lady, how is that little old bag lady a threat? If she was a bag lady, I don't know. She might have been shopping. My bad. That would be my bad in assuming. But the senior citizens, You know, the 15-year-old schoolgirl, whether it be that one in San Francisco or the one in Hong Kong. You know, what the hell are you doing? You're doing nothing but hate, and you're hating the wrong people as well. So that's pretty much it right now. I do apologize for all these pauses. It's just that it's it's a little concerning. We've got so much crap going on right now as it is. You know, we got all those kids locked up in the border right now, being tended to by the brand new immigration leader. Hopefully he's going to do good. I wish him the best. Especially with all the haters from typical douchebags that want to shove them across the border to the politicians who are saying that this is a big mess, and that we shouldn't do anything about it, which is a big conundrum right there. If it's a crisis, then what in the hell are we doing not doing anything? You understand? So for those of us down here, watching all of that up there, just taking a seat back and watching it, we could see that we could see the stuff that's going on. And for all of you out there who are still indecisive as to where to take a stand, where to make your voice, good for you. Rightly so. Because if you're not looking into what everybody's saying and checking them and fact checking what they're saying, then you're actually believing that every Chinese is a threat. Or you're actually believing that no Chinese are a threat. Whatever extreme viewpoint there is, you gotta look into it and fact check this and see for yourself. There's testimony after testimony, and there's article after article of what's going on, and you got to take a step back and look at. I've been reading so much into this for the past 3 years. I'm just I've got them all jumbled up right now. It's a little difficult to figure. It's a little difficult to remember everything and recite them all to you. If there's anybody that feels the need, let me know. I'll gladly look it up and show you. I'll gladly look it up and point them out. I know, because, I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't know what I was talking about. But yeah, this is mostly in response to the two extremes that the Chinese have nothing to do with this, and the other end of that aisle, that it's a Chinese virus and that China has everything to do with it and everything like that. I'm hearing both sides of the aisle here in my vehicle, and down here in Texas, it's a little alarming. Oh, and that Roy Chip guy, whoever the hell he was, this whole get a rope thing, in response to the shooting, you had us with, let's seek justice for the victims and take care of this shooter and make sure that he faces justice. Then you lost it completely with this whole, the CCP are bad, and the China flu is bad, and, we should never forget. What the fuck? Guys, it is not a China flu just because it came out of China. This is a virus, and like every virus, it is one that mutates no differently than the previous ones. It was formed through nature, not by way of some people. You know, there's even more mutated virus than COVID-19. We're looking at just COVID-19 because it's the airborne virus that has to be taken care of. It has to be gotten rid of before it starts doing some more serious damage. But it's not a China virus no more than Ebola was. It's just a mutated virus. Yeah, that Roy Chip guy. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he needs to get his facts straight. As does everybody that thinks that every Chinese is bad. As does every single one of those sympathy for the devil people. You know, I don't know if I'm using that correctly. Who think that the Chinese are completely defenseless and innocent and helpless and hopeless and cute and cuddly and whatever. I don't understand that either. Are there bad people? Yeah. Are there bad people of all nations? Sure. But to go on and accuse others, a restaurant owner, an old lady, a senior citizen, a couple of kids, a family with a baby, you know, that's obvious hate. That is obvious hate, and you just really have no leg to stand on in your defense. That guy deserves lethal injection. It's irrelevant what he thinks his purpose was. Sex addiction or whatever. It was a sex crime. Well, you should have reported. You should have gone to the police. As everybody else who did these inflictions, you know, don't be surprised if you get reported on. That person here in San Antonio that graffitied the restaurant late at night, it was good that he did. It was over in the college area where, you know, all the kids that are normally awake are asleep, and the business owners have no reason to be there. You know, I know that area. It's a very quiet area, and it only makes sense that he would actually be able to do something like that, whereas anywhere else he would have gotten his ass kicked. And I mean that for true. There was a guy that came down here to San Antonio. He had a rough marriage. He decided to shoot the church that she was in, walk inside, start shooting people in that church. And how did he stop? Not when he ran out of bullets. He had tons of bullets still. One guy who was in that church, he was unarmed. He literally charged that gunman, punched him, knocked him silly, forcing the gunman to run for his life. The gunman had to run for his life just to be greeted by an AR-15 from across the street from the guy that heard the gunshots earlier. So he had to run for his life to his vehicle. Then the armed man from across the street and the unarmed man from the church jumped in their neighbor's truck and chased after the gunman. When he realized he couldn't get away, he blasted his brains out. He blew his brains out. Okay? That's what to expect down here in San Antonio. You know, I see a guy spray painting graffiti shit like that. This rideshare driver is running him over. Okay? No, I don't have a gun on me. I got a car, and I'll use it on him. You see somebody beating the crap out of a little old person, I'm going to jump out of my car unless he's already gotten away, unless he's already given space, and then I'll hit him with my car. But if not, I'm knocking the crap out of him. You know? You don't have the right to hate. Plain and simple. Besides, you're hating the wrong people. You're hating the ones that would report this crap. That would report the findings of bad food. That are reporting this virus, that are reporting the virus that was found in other people, that are reporting the scientists that discovered its presence. You are hating the wrong people. So quit your crap. I'm running out of time, so this is Chris signing out. Y'all be good. This is Friday now. Friday! So let's have a little bit of fun and let's stop the hate. I personally am going to enjoy my Friday also. And I will most definitely, like I said, stop the hate. Even if I have to run over it with my car. This is Chris of Chris's Comments, signing out. Y'all have a good weekend.